All right there, boys and girls. It's episode 22 of Paropod with
Howdy
their
there.
hosts with the most style.
Yes, absolutely.
I
That's us.
wasn't sure where I was going with there, but we got there in the end. It's Mark
Uh,
and Owen.
It is. It's marking on. I'm way too loud, I think, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, it's great to be back.
Once
Wow.
again in the
Again.
pods,
Yes.
syncing up.
Yeah, nice and healthy, syncing up, touching base, doing all those things. How's your week been?
Pretty good. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of video games actually. I've been playing Cuphead. Have you ever heard of Cuphead?
I don't know what that is.
Fuck Cuphead, right? Because
Oh.
I got my sister a Switch for Christmas,
Mm.
and able to get Cuphead, and Cuphead is a game that's in the style of like rubber hose animation, and it
What's
is
that?
like old, like the old Mickey Mouse cartoons where like they're
Oh,
like really like loose and fluid. It's in that kind
Mm.
of style.
yeah.
And it looks insane, but like it is merciful. It is stupidly difficult.
Is this the one with the ghost?
With the ghost? I
Oh
don't-
no, it's just cups. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little man. He's got a cup head, but I'm on the final boss. I got there today. The way I had to play this game was like I had to like spend like an hour fighting one boss, and hopefully every day I'd get past the boss. But the other day I got through 4 in a row, and I was fucking mine was
jeez.
blown. But I've been playing a lot of Cuphead. Cuphead is fuck Cuphead. It's great, but fuck Cuphead.
On the Cuphead buzz.
Watching a few
Jeez.
movies as well. But
Ah, yeah.
it's yourself. How are you?
Same old, same old.
Still on that Sopranos buzz?
Still on Sopranos buzz. Can't talk about it till it's over, but it's pretty good. It's great
Pretty
to
good.
see.
Pretty good.
People popping in now. Paul Dano's in the last one. Stuff like that. That guy from Independence Day, the general, he's also in it. Just people just show up out of nowhere, you know.
I say because it got like, because like Sopranos was so huge when it came out, people were just like, I want to be in Sopranos.
Yeah, Steve Buscemi's in it as well. One of the main characters.
What a king. He
Bizarre.
kind of looks like that guy. What's that character's name? The dickhead in like season 3.
Oh, Ralphie.
Ralphie, yes.
Ralphie. He sounds like him. They sound
Yeah.
the exact same.
They do.
So weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ralphie. Fuck Ralphie. Oh,
Yeah,
piece of
Ralphie's
shit.
a scumbag. He's a schlimeball.
What season you on?
Season 5.
Season 5. Man.
Yeah,
you're
yeah. Yeah.
Man, I haven't watched it. I literally haven't watched it with my mom in a month. Like,
Really?
well, my mom was like, "Can we please watch one this week?" It's like, "Mom, I swear to God, we're gonna watch like 3 in a row at this stage. We need to get cracking on with this." It's
Yeah, I go on the binges. I just watch loads in a row. You know,
the only way to do it, man. It's such a good
it's
show.
the only way. Binge city. Yeah. So watching bit Sopranos. Didn't really do much else. You know,
Good
just
shit.
trying to just trying to keep busy. You know.
Yeah, oh man, that's all you can do. Try and keep busy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I tried, I was like, what could I do? And I was like, oh, well, I tried writing, and then I tried writing. I was like, I fucking hate writing. Like, I love the idea of writing, but when I sit down, I write out a sentence, whatever, and then I read it back to myself, and I read it as if a 4-year-old is saying the sentence. I was like, that sounds fucking awful. I delete it. I was like, oh fuck this, I can't do this.
Yeah, demoralizing stuff. Yeah, I tried reading as well. Big mistake. I was reading some speeches and stuff. Just like nearly fell asleep. I was coming up with excuses every single day. It's like, I'll read it tomorrow. You know, I'll get back into it tomorrow.
I did the exact same thing. I'm just
Yeah.
like, I start reading, and I was like, oh, I'll come back this like an hour, and then I never come back to it.
Yeah, it's like just the same book sitting on my locker for the past 6 months.
I stopped reading a book because I was reading David Foster Wallace's Broom of the System, or System of the
Mm.
Broom,
Yeah.
which is really, really fucking good. It's a really good book, and I had 100 pages left, and I'd had it on my I've been reading it for like the guts of like 2 months, unbelievably slowly. I was like, I actually just can't finish this book. I need something different. I have to give up. And it's not even the book's fault. It's my fault.
I failed you, David.
Oh yeah, I failed you, David. You did nothing wrong.
Oh, that's so sad. Yeah, and this is like this is the best time to get into all those things. But like,
Yeah, literally nothing. I've got nothing else to do. Fucking Cuphead.
yeah, it's like an embarrassment of riches. You don't know what to do because there's so much to do.
There is. I haven't even been watching loads. I don't know where time is going now because it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, it's 6 o'clock. I just thought I feel like I just woke up, but all of a sudden all this time is just literally fell through my fingers.
Yeah, tears and rain.
Oh.
It's so sad. Every day I mourn for the time that I've wasted, and then I wake up and do the same thing again.
Yeah.
It's, time's a flat circle, all that stuff.
But fuck, I also don't care. I got a lot of time. I'm only 21. Fuck that shit. I got so much time.
I also don't care. That's the best attitude for it. Yeah.
I also don't care. It's like, am I being productive? No. Do I care? No.
Absolutely not. Yeah, I did watch a film.
What'd you watch?
I watched this thing called Yellow Brick Road. Ever heard of it?
I think I have.
It's a horror film. Nothing to do with Dorothy and lads.
Wizard of Oz? No.
No. But it's like it sort of uses some of the the signs and like the tropes or whatever. But it's about like it's like this sort of rural gothic horror kind of thing where they go out or no, it starts out with like a found footage kind of yoke where they're talking about this incident in 1990 where this entire town in like Maine or something in like the American Northeast like they all marched off into the woods and never came back, and they're playing like a audio tape of like FBI guys interviewing this fella, and he's talking about how they're all dead and he's the only survivor and stuff, and it's played over like images of like the town sort of degrading over the weeks before they left. It's a great setup, but then there's like this guy, this like amateur historian or something like that. He wants to go off and discover the secret of the Yellow Brick Road, of this trail that they all went off into, and no one even knows what the trail is. They just know they marched off into the woods. So he like assembles this team of young, innocent filmmakers and like explorers and stuff. And there's like 6 or 7 of them, and they go off into the woods, and it's this sort of Blair Witch kind of vibe where they end up going around the circle and they get lost and they become disoriented. Like there's this whole thing throughout they have one guy and like his entire job as part of the team is just to make sure that everyone's mentally still there.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, tell me your name, your age, like do a few math sums or whatever. And it's like a good way to sort of chart how the characters descend into like incoherence. And all the while they start like after about like half an hour, like you're following around in the woods and you start to hear like music. It's like that album The Caretaker.
Yeah.
It's like
drone kind of music or whatever.
Yeah, it's like ballroom music, but you can barely hear it. I don't know why it's ballroom.
Oh, that's so fucked up.
Yeah, I don't know why it's ballroom because I think it was 1990 when they all disappeared. But
when was this made?
2010.
Oh, sweet, yeah.
So you hear like little. It's like crackling kind of ballroom music, like just underneath the audio track, and eventually you realize that they can hear it as well, and it's like slowly getting louder and louder, and the louder it gets, the more disoriented they become. And there's one point where one of the characters basically loses it and attacks his girlfriend and like rips off her leg, and it's really bizarre and jarring because everyone's like in a daze and like disoriented. And they see this happening, but like they don't really do anything about it. It's really weird.
That sounds so fucked up.
And there's like this whole theme of the sort of southern gothic aesthetic, where the like nature's kind of reclaiming them or something. There's something vengeful out in the woods, in them there hills.
Yeah.
There's some kind of forces that no one can understand. And they do talk about like the wizard at the end of the road and stuff. And there actually is a wizard. But it's not like in your face. It's sort of like implied almost. It sort of reminds me of some film, but I actually can't remember the name of the film right now. But it's like it implies there's something at the end of the road, even though the road is circular, and it's addressed the fact that it's like time or something like that. It's
kind of like a spiral, kind of, is it?
It's like an extra temporal space, like the road. It's like they'll never reach the end. But there is something that exists on the road that they can never understand. It's almost like Lovecraftian.
It
Um,
sounds really Lovecraftian.
yeah, it's not. It's like the acting is terrible, and all the shots. It's only an hour and a half long, but every shot is like slightly too long, and it's really annoying.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like it's really low budget and like sort of indie kind of effort, and you really appreciate the effort because it's pretty original and it tries to do a lot more than you'd imagine it's capable of, but at the same time it's like it's not that good. But
Yeah, there's still like there's a bit too much like there's still a bit of fat on it that like you just need trimming down. Like it could be even shorter than it is.
yeah, it could be like 1 hour, I don't know, 10 or something. Like there were shots where I was like knew that nothing was gonna happen for the next like 30 seconds, so I just skipped ahead and nothing had happened.
Oh, that's the worst.
But it's an interesting kind of mix of things.
Yeah.
I always love like gothic, like Americana kind of stuff as well. So this is right up my street, and it was definitely, I didn't waste my time. I don't feel like I wasted my time. I feel like it was worth a watch, definitely.
Yeah, worth a go. See what
Worth
see
a
what it's
go.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of yeah, but it's kind of disappointing because like if that was done really really good, it would be fucking like unreal. Like that sounds like a really fucking cool idea for a film.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool. Yeah, it's just a bit of a shame, but like you can't fault them. It's not like they're working with a studio or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like they're just doing their best, and it's more about the ideas and anything else, and the vibes and the whole thing with nature and like, especially in America, that's a really big thing. I think with the landscape, kind of like a folk horror kind of thing.
Yeah, I think as well, like with horror, a lot of the time, if you have like a really good idea, a lot of the time, like the idea itself will carry the film because like if you get the audience thinking about the idea, that in itself can generate a lot of the horror and a lot of the like. No, yeah, I was gonna say a lot of the scares, but I think there's a difference between like a scary movie and a horror film. Like there are two different feelings, and a horror film can like make you feel deeper things than just being scared.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you can almost forgive it if there's some limitations, because it's more about what it's like trying to evoke rather than what it shows on screen.
Yeah, yeah, literally like the emotions it draws out of you rather than what you actually experience, kind of. I've been feeling a lot of that because like I've been thinking about that a lot because someone in the I think she might listen to it, Avian. If you listen to this, shout out to you. So Avian watched Under the Skin, and she put up something that was like, this isn't a critique with Avian's opinion on Under the Skin at all. Just make that clear.
This is an attack against Avians.
The Parapods not coming after you or anything like that. I don't, like, but she watched Under the Skin and she's like, yeah, I liked it, but I didn't really like kind of understand what was going on. And that's completely fair, completely valid opinion to have about a film. That I didn't really understand or whatever was going on. But for me, especially because like Under the Skin is a horror film, I think it's less about like trying to understand what's going on, especially when Under the Skin is like it's an alien, so it's like completely foreign. Like in real life, you're never going to actually understand an alien's thinking or whatever. So it's much more about like the vibes and the feelings that the film invokes in you. But a lot of people are like, yeah, it's good, but it's not great. Again, that's kind of like the ideas thing. It's more about the ideas and what it invokes in you.
Yeah, definitely. It's like a creative thing. It's like it's more I don't know, almost demands more, but it's more rewarding that way.
Yeah.
If you're filling in the blanks, it's not just sitting there watching a film. It's like you're almost in the film because you have to imagine what's behind the corner, or like what's behind all these weird things, or like what's this mysterious force trying to do.
Yeah. A kind of film like kind of similar to this as well is a film that I watched this week, which was Embrace of the Serpent. Have you ever heard about this film?
Never heard of it. What is it?
It is a film by a Colombian director. Let me pull up his name. He hasn't done much, but Embrace the Serpent is a film that is kind of akin to Aguirre Wrath of God and Apocalypse Now, kind of, where it's about people in the Amazon kind of going down the river and like finding, like, coming across all these people, but it's about this kind of scientist, I guess, or like anthropologist or whatever. Sorry, 1 sec. I'm trying to get the director's name. Ciro Do you get? I cannot. Okay, he's got a Colombian name. Just look up Embrace of the Serpent. I can't pronounce the dude's name. Ciro Guevara or something like that. But it's about this guy who's like this anthropologist or whatever, and he has like some illness. We're never told what it is, but he has some illness, and he's gonna die because of the illness. So his like travel companion brings him off to this shaman in the middle of the jungle, and he's like, "Oh, you're what's he called? The Eater of Worlds is what he's known as." And they're just like, "Oh, can you help him?" He's like, "No, I'm not helping any white man." And he turns to the travel companion. He's like, "And you're a fucking traitor," because that dude's like a native person as well. He's like, "You're a fucking traitor helping the white man as well." He's like, "No, no, no, no. This guy's helping us." And the anthropologist has like this like necklace on. And the shaman comes up to him and like grabs it and is like, "Where did you get this?" And he's like, "I got it from the Uri people or whatever, like down the river." And it's like, "They're my people. They're all dead." And he's like, "No, they're not. They're still alive." So the shaman agrees to go off with the guy down the river to find a plant that will save his life, which is with the people at the river. So they're going down the river, and it's a lot about like there's a couple of layers to the film where it's about colonialism. A lot of it is about colonialism because they come across different native tribes who are either suffering at the hands of the colonialism. Like they come across this like this part where there's loads of like graves, and the travel companion, I can't remember the characters' names, but the travel companion is just like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And he starts like he sees that like the trees have been cut away to like extract all the rubber, so he starts like kicking all the buckets down, and then this dude just runs up to him who has his arm like he has like a stump, and he's running over and he's trying to desperately to like get all the rubber back into the buckets, and you realize, oh shit, the Portuguese or wherever the fuck it is are there, like that's what's going on. They've captured people and are using them to like extract the rubber or whatever, and this dude is gonna suffer because of these dudes just came in and kicked the bucket. And I was like, no, we can't do anything. Like, we can't kill him because then they'll come after us. So we just have to leave him. And it's like a lot of shit like that. And then there's also a dual narrative thing going on where you're basically told that the anthropologist, he didn't survive. Like they weren't able to help him because it cuts between this story and in the future where the shaman is after meeting a botanist who's come out to try and find him to find the same plant. And he's just like, "Oh, what happened to the German guy?" And he's like, "Oh, he's dead. He died in the jungle." But there's loads of shit going on. Like there's a bit where like in the future the shaman can't remember things because he describes himself as being some word that's in like their native language, whatever. And what he's talking about is like, I'm just a husk, I'm just a shell without a soul, like I'm not a full man anymore, because his picture had been taken. And he describes the picture being this, what is that in? It's no, remember when we were talking about Peeping Tom, where what's the main character's name in Peeping Tom?
Mark.
Mark is just like, oh no, like he knows that like to capture someone's image is to take part of their spirits. Like that's what the natives believe in. But there's an interesting conversation where the guy's like, "Oh no, I just took this is like a moment in history," and the shaman's like saying to him like, no, that's part of my spirit that you have to taking. And it's like these clashing of ideals kind of thing. And then there's a lot of like metaphysical things going on in the film. And it's fucking cool. It's a cool film.
It was nominated for an Oscar, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. The guy that directed it's the first Colombian to be nominated for Best Foreign Language Film.
Oh Jesus!
But it's really, really good, and it's shot all in black and white, and it like adds to the density of the forest, or of the jungle, I should say. Like it is like the kind of, there's a madness in the jungle. That's causing this to happen, and a lot of like the gods are at play with what's going on in the film, as well as it being like a journey down the river, because the shaman keeps talking about how the river, or the Amazon River, was created because some god was a serpent and he like slithers through the landscape, and that's what caused the river. And there's a bit where he's talking to the botanist in the present day kind of area or whatever, and he's talking to him, and he's just like, how many banks does the river have? And your man's like 3 or whatever, and he's like, no, there's millions of banks on this river. There's endless amounts of banks. This whole thing of like,
The guy just goes 3.
the guy goes like 3
On
or
the
something.
Amazon.
And the show's like, you fucking idiot. He's like, this is the problem with like viewing things as science, is that you're seeing things way too literally, where there is bigger things at play.
Yeah. I've heard that's the coastline paradox. If you go around the coast and like you measure it, but like you have to use like straight lines all the way around. Like, you get a certain number.
Yeah.
But like if you measure it precisely, it's infinitely long because you can measure whatever way you want, basically. It's something about that. I don't know. It's like an actual scientific thing.
Yes, I remember that, because remember like junior geography learning about that. Like, this is like the way that you measure a river, but this isn't actually how you measure a river, because there's endless amounts of ways to measure a river.
Yeah, it's just an approximation, basically.
So it's like that thing it is like that. Like, there's looking at things scientifically isn't always the best or right way to look at things. Like, you kind of have to look at it in a metaphysical way. And there's a bit where like it's all shot in black and white, and then at the end, one of the guys takes the plant or whatever, and he goes on a trip basically, and like a burst of color comes into it, but the color is like, it's almost like a Rorschach test where you can see different things within the colors, kind of, because the colors are like moving in such a weird way, and it's kind of like space and like the galaxy kind of looks like.
Yeah.
It's super fucking cool.
Yeah,
But again,
mad.
it's like, you can't really understand what's going on, but it's about the vibes. It's about like what the film is like invoking within me.
Yeah, he sort of broke up, but I heard the most of that. Definitely.
Yeah.
I think every film we like basically comes down to, it's, you can't explain it, man. It's basically the vibes, Just have to watch it.
Harmony Korine, love them. It's all about the vibes.
It's just the vibes. You can't explain it. It's like a paradox. But yeah, that's when I was watching Yellow Brick Road, I had actually thinking the same thing with Aguirre Wrath of God, because there's a point where the leader of the expedition, like, they've all gone crazy, and the crazy guy has stolen their vehicle, and he's like gone off with the map and stuff like that, and they're all like, we have to turn back whichever way we came, and the leader of the expedition is like, no, if we leave here now, the questions that we'll be asking, they'll kill us. And then there's some other guy going, but just don't ask the questions, stuff like that. It was the whole thing about like going mad in pursuit of something, just to sort of know it.
The pursuit of knowledge, kind of.
Yeah, without really regarding, what that's gonna do, or like just sort of fetishizing knowledge, I suppose.
Yeah, that's like, and there's a bit of that in this film as well, where it's like this pursuit of knowledge, where, and it's pretty literal in this film, where the both scientists, they have these boxes filled with like everything that they have, like that they've learned in the Amazon, and they have it in the boat. But the boat is sinking.
Bad idea.
Because of that. And it's like, you have to get rid of this scientific knowledge if you want to keep going. And it's like,
the boat is sinking because of the paper.
Yeah, because it's too heavy. Because they're in little rafts and canoes to like ebb and flow throughout everywhere. And it's just like, your knowledge and your scientific knowledge is weighing you down in the river of basically like the universe and
fate.
Time and fate or whatever. And it's like, you're focusing too much on this shit, where you gotta just vibe with it, bro. Relax. Have a DMT trip, man. You figure it out.
Man, just take a blow off this DMT joint if you grand.
But that's basically what they end up doing is DMT, like, or ayahuasca. They do like a different version of ayahuasca, but like it is still ayahuasca, like.
Yeah.
But it is that thing where, and there's stuff about like religion. But again, that's kind of tied into the whole colonialism aspect of it. There's a lot of shit in the film. A lot of shit. It's good.
Yeah, they need more films about stuff like that. Amazon. What's happening down there,
Yeah, what's going on?
Or that period. That period's very interesting,
It is. It's
not many films about it, though.
And this film doesn't shy away from like the brutality of that era as well, because obviously it was a very dark time, but it was also very mystical, mysterious time in history as well.
Yeah. It's like Apocalypto. It's great for that. That film's fucking mad.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's good.
It's crazy. You should definitely watch it.
Yeah.
It's like kind of insensitive in a way, but like...
Oh, it's Mel Gibson, so I'd imagine so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Mel Gibson, so you have to sort of imagine that. But like, it's like all in native... Like, none of it is in English.
Yeah, same as this film. There's like
And
a
the
couple of different languages in this film.
Yeah, and the insensitive part is basically the ending where you can read it as pretty much the opposite, basically. That's what I read anyway. But it's really, really good. And it's just like a cool period of time. It's just, you don't know much about it. Like, we never really talk about it.
Yeah, I think as well that it harkens back to a time where like the Earth was there's still bits of the Earth that were completely unknown. Whereas now, we know everything that's on, the surface of Earth, except for like, underwater shit, whatever. But like on land, we know everything.
The underwater shit.
The underwater shit, all that bollocks underneath us.
Whatever's happening down there, we don't want to know.
Atlantis, all that shit, don't want to know.
They can keep their knowledge, don't want to.
But it's like it harkens back to that time where like, there was still the unknown on land. Which is cool. Back in the day.
Yeah. Not only 90s kids remember this. The conquest of Mexico.
Conquistadors.
Yeah.
Did you watch anything else?
I had a look at Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. That's
Ooh.
the only other thing I watched.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I'm kind of regretting it.
Yeah.
This is very ambivalent about this film.
Yeah, much like Aguirre, much like, the shaman and his anthropologist, we are going down the river of the unknown through Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. Well, the original 4.
We're not doing all of them now.
Do you want to do the remakes? Because I feel like they're all going to be the same. There's going to be
isn't there
like modern
7 of them?
slashers.
Fuck that.
Yeah, there's too many. There's like 2 remakes, and then I think there's 8 of them.
There's a new one coming out as well.
Yep. This series will just keep going on and on forever now. Much like the time thing.
Yeah, that guy. Leatherface. They even redo that whole sequence at the end of this.
Yeah. Oh, where to even start with this film? I think like the most like obvious example that this film is completely different from the original is the poster, which is a piss take of the Breakfast Club. And you realize, what the fuck is because I thought for a second, like, I was like, oh, what the fuck is this? Like, did they just like what is this?
Yeah, there's no follow questions. Like, what does this have to do with Texas Chainsaw Massacre? It's bizarre.
Yeah, I thought, and then the opening to that, like, to the film. All right, so this is like a spoof kind of version. It's kind of like a Gremlins 2, where they kind of take the piss out of like what the original film was, but the start of the film just feels like it could be like a shitty slasher movie. It doesn't feel like it could be a joke, if you know what I mean. Because it's still within the realm of the possibility, like, this is just a bad film.
Yeah, that's the worst part about it, because it's not like Gremlins 2, very on the nose. I think this is before. Oh no, yeah, this is 86. But like Gremlins 2, it's on the nose. It's like trying to sort of. It's like every line almost hints at the fact that it's like a piss take on sequels and like the original film and stuff. This film is also those things, but you could like read it straight as just like a bad horror movie, which isn't the good thing in this case. I don't think. Like the opening part with the even the way it's set up, the 2 yuppies and stuff. Like that's just like who came up with that idea? Who, like, in the writer's room and are like, this is the best way to open this film? Like, there's definitely a better way to set up this, this whole story.
I think that the opening did something where I was like, okay, this is clearly not the same vibe whatsoever as the first film, because I think in the first film, and I think we mentioned this last week when we were talking about the original one, there's no blood, there's no guns, there's fuck all music from what I'm aware of from the film. But in this one, like, the first thing that we see is a guy leaning out of a car, driving super fucking quick down the road, shooting a gun with rock music blaring in the background. And then when Leatherface shows up, there's blood. There's like loads of blood in this film.
Yeah, there's it's extremely gory.
So it's like it immediately lets you know, like, this is not the same film as the original one. Which, you can do, but if you're going to do it, do it good.
Do it right. Do it decent. Have a go at it. Don't just be like, remember the original film, but what if it wasn't like that and it was like something else?
Yeah,
Like, isn't that hilarious? That's not that funny.
because it really
It's not that original.
spits in the face of everything in the original one, and like not in a good way either. It just
Yeah,
it kind of it takes the piss out of you for like reading into Texas Chainsaw kind of.
yeah. There's a lot of like really like winky stuff, like the whole thing with the chainsaw, the
Being
phallic
a
object.
literal
Like
fucking dick in this
it
one.
becomes it becomes a literal symbolic penis in the film, which is like, we get it, we know. Like, I understand the joke here, Toby Hooper, director, but it's just like there was a better way to do this, to make a sequel, or to make like a subversive kind of sequel, than to do this. I can't vibe with it.
No, I couldn't
I
vibe
can't
with it
condone
either.
this.
There was some bits that I did find like really funny. Like the moment that I realized like, oh, this is like a parody film nearly, is when the cook from the original one, what the fuck is his name? Because they actually give the names of the family. Oh, so that's another thing as well. The family is actually named in this one, and the characters are actually named. Like Leatherface was called Leatherface once in the original one, but they referred to him as Bubba in this one. So it's like that's actually his name is Bubba, and then the cook is also named, but I can't remember. I wrote down his name, but I don't know where it's gone now.
We'll just call him Cook.
The cook anyway. But like that bit where like he's winning the like chili contest or whatever, and it's just like, oh yeah, like, oh, I get
Yeah.
it. You know, he's using human meat, and like then there's a bit where like the girl beside him is just like, oh, how do you do it? He's like, oh, it's all on the meat. It's all about, I got a great eye for real meat. And she's like chewing on something, and then she like pulls out a tooth, and he's like, oh, sorry, that's just a hard kettle corn or some shit like that. And it's like, it's so, and it like that is funny. Like I thought that was funny, but it was like that's the moment that I realized that the film was like kind of spoof, kind of parody. It's not, it's not a shit. Like it is a shit film, but it's not as shit as I thought that it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be playing it way more serious than it actually is from the beginning.
Yeah, if this was played serious, it'd be completely irredeemable, basically.
Completely irredeemable.
It's not as scary.
There's actually one good jump scare though.
One good kill or
One
good
good
joke?
jump scare.
One good jump scare. The part where he comes running out of the like fridge or whatever.
That fucking
the
I
DJ.
proper jumped at that.
I jumped. How did they do that? Like that was really good.
That was
actually really good. Where like she's being accosted by Chop Top, who's the hitchhiker's brother from the original film, and he's in like this radio station where she works, and he's like, I don't know, harassing her or whatever.
It's
and he like
really
backs up against the
creepy.
wall. Yeah, he backs up against the wall, and then out of nowhere, fucking Leatherface comes charging in with a chainsaw. But it really gets you. I was like, whoa, oh
Yeah,
Jesus,
It
Really gets
was good. It was a good scare, a good jump scare.
Yeah, definitely.
Roger Ebert said something about the film that like it removes all the terror from the original film. This isn't a horror film.
Well, it is. I wouldn't, I wouldn't
but
let
you know what I
young
mean.
children watch this.
Yeah, but I'm also like, would like no one's like it's because it's so stupid and it's so
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just nothing that I like Texas Chainsaw for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it just sort of violates the original. Like it's like the original is sort of funny. Like the whole reasoning that Toby Hooper gave for this film is that he wanted to bring out the black comedy in the original. So he made this like really on the nose sort of comedy film, like way more sort of in your face. But like it's almost like the worst for it, because like the original is funny in parts, but like it's funny in a really subtle way, and it works within the context of like the horror and like all the themes going on, like the cosmological stuff, and like there's the commentary on the American social stuff. But like this just has like nothing beyond the most superficial level of like really gory sort of slapstick kills and like really sort of corny jokes that wouldn't be like out of place on like an SNL sketch parodying the original film, which isn't a good thing at all.
No. Yeah,
but
I agree.
the cook aged like a fine wine. That guy actually looks younger in this film than he did in the original.
What the fuck?
What's that about?
He looks so good in this movie.
Well, he doesn't look good, but he looks.
He
looks better
younger.
than the first one. Yeah,
And it's 10 years later.
Yeah, it's 12, 13 years after the original. Crazy. Fair play to him. So
yeah, Jesus man, you're doing good.
Yeah, that was really remarkable.
Yeah, he's good, and he's good in the film. I think he's the best aspect of the film. But again, like in the original film, you know, there is that whole commentary of, you know, the American societal issues and shit like that, like, you know, problems with capitalism, whatever. Like, you know, these like small slaughterhouse workers that have been like put out because of technology. That's all in the film. But in this one, the cook is just like, oh, taxes, and he's literally saying, like, literally saying things about like issues in America in this really like slapstick way, where it's like, oh yeah, you like that in the original one, well, he's doing it in this one as well, but it's as a piss take. And it's like similar to like, man, we need to talk about the chainsaw dick, but we'll get onto that in a while. The chainsaw being a literal dick in this one, like, it's so on the nose that it's like it's funny, but it's not funny.
Yeah, that's the main issue really with this whole thing. It's just not that funny, and the parts that are funny, it's like almost like they did it by accident, maybe. You know, like there's so many things that just fall flat. Like the chainsaw dick, like that's interesting, but like why do they? Why, you know?
Yeah, because like when I was watching it, I was like, at the start of that, the girl in this Stretch, she's like,
Is that her name?
yeah, that's her name, Stretch. And then Dennis Hopper is in this movie as well.
He's actually pretty good in it.
He's
but,
pretty
like,
good.
They should have, if they were going for this kind of black comedy, like sort of silly vibe, they should have just stuck with him. Like that's it, really.
Yeah.
Or should have either him or her, not both.
Yeah, because it flip flops between the two of them. But at the start of the film, he's like, right, so he is Sally and what's his name? Franklin's uncle, and he's like the Lone Ranger coming into Texas. And I do like the way that like they say that like, oh, all that stuff with the chainsaw man, like wielding maniac, whatever, that was down in the south of Texas. This is the north of Texas, and it's like there is a very distinct difference in like vibes, like in the landscape of that, where the north of Texas is way more green because it's not, you know, it's not basically fucking Mexico, like. So I do like that, like the landscape is different, and the landscape kind of reflects this, like, you know, kind of more like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of more, yeah, like developed, but not developed. Like, because in the original one, I say like it's like an apocalyptic landscape is what they're in, and that reflects like the violence that's going on. But because they're in a more like green area, they're in a more like welcoming landscape, we'll say. It kind of reflects like, you know, this isn't as like horrifying as the original one, and I kind of like that. But yeah, so he's coming into town because he wants to find out, you know, these two kids are like, these two yuppies just got fucking chainsawed, but they're kind of like, ooh, they're kind of covering up, you know, the law aren't really looking into it. And, you know, he wants to find out find the Sawyers, and he knows that the Sawyers are there. And Stretch was on the phone to the two yuppies when they're getting chainsawed, and she owns a radio station. So anyway, she's by herself in the radio station after playing the tape of them being killed, and then Chop Chop and Leatherface show up to try and kill her. And when Leatherface like gets her, I thought that it was like, oh, he's kind of toying with her or whatever. But then you realize, no, he's not toying with her. He's attracted to her.
He wants to ride her.
And she's like trying to seduce him. And I think that's a cool
so weird
commentary though on the original one, where, and we mentioned this, that like it's a very, you know, there is no woman in the Sawyer family. There's no female in it, and these are like, and I think we mentioned actually, it can be kind of very misogynistic film, but this is a situation where Stretch is using her sexuality to take control and save herself from Leatherface. And it's like Leatherface is actually the powerless one in that situation.
Yeah.
Which is cool, but it's done really fucking badly as well.
It's just done weird. Like he's just Leatherface. Like he's just like this monster, this monstrous being, you know. He just kills people. That's all people know him as. But then he gets all horny. It's like, what the fuck? And it's like weird.
His chainsaw, like he's rubbing up against her crotch with his chainsaw.
Yeah,
and it's like, and that was the moment when I was like, oh, this is like, it's literally a dick in this film.
Yeah. and it's like the chainsaws are really long in this film. It's like really like, but they also have mini chainsaws and stuff. Very good. That was actually very good.
That was very good. The mini chainsaws 10 out of 10.
But it's just a weird scene. You know, just don't include that, or like do it in a different way, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. And then like Leatherface kind of what's the word I'm looking for? He prematurely ejaculates, basically. He creams his pants. Well, like I thought that's why I read it. Like, and that's why he starts going like whoa! He starts going fucking crazy with the chainsaw then because he's like he came on his pants basically.
I thought he was going in for the metaphorical kill, you know, or the literal kill, I suppose.
Well, it could be premature ejaculation, whatever. This film has layers.
So many layers to this.
To this chainsaw dick.
Yeah. But yeah, she escapes. He spares her because he gives her feelings, or she gives him feelings, or whatever.
She gives him a boner.
She gives him a massive mechanical boner, so he lets her go. And wait, what happens after that? They bring her from her mate. Her mate is wandered in at that stage.
Yeah.
And they kill him, and he gets fucked up. And
he just gets bashed over the head repeatedly with the hammer.
Yeah, that's the main kill in this film. This guy just gets absolutely creamed in every way possible, and like everyone else sort of gets off pretty grand, really. But like, this guy gets
everyone else is
yeah. It's like this is basically the main kill in the entire film, and it happens.
It's like the
20
only
minutes.
kill in the film.
Yeah. Who else gets killed?
The two yuppies, but you don't see one of them dying. Yeah. So you only see there's the dude that gets his head chainsawed in half, which is a cool kill. Oh, that's a cool kill.
That is actually a good one.
LJ, I think his name is, getting hammered in the heads repeatedly, and then that's it. Like all the rest of the kills are like the explosion at the end, which kills like a couple people, and Chop Top falling off the fucking mountain, basically.
Yeah. You don't even know if he dies.
He doesn't apparently he doesn't show up in the rest of the series, so he's dead.
Yeah, fair enough. But but the way LJ goes, because that's LJ again, because she gets she falls down a hole or something.
Yeah, they go to the theme park place.
Yeah, her and Lefty, who's Dennis Hopper, meet up to like, I don't know, join forces or whatever, and she randomly falls down a hole and ends up in the Sawyer's underground lair,
which is like it looks cool, but I also hate it because it is again, it is that like the piss take of the original. Like this was because the original was like the like House of Horrors, but this is like a theme park of horrors, and this is like how big the franchise has gotten is reflected in like how much money the stories kind of seem to have in this film. Like and I think as well, I do like that the stories are clearly way more successfully, like financially successful now because they have this huge fucking place, whatever. Whereas in the original one, they're like struggling, and it's kind of like Texas Chainsaw, the franchise got way fucking bigger, so it's reflected in the Sawyers having more money in the sequel, which is kind of cool. But I don't know if Dennis Hopper actually meant that.
Yeah, so she falls down this hole completely randomly, and she ends up in like their abattoir where Leatherface kills all their victims, but then she's like hiding from him, and she sees him like butchering some fella.
Oh, he's skinning him.
Yeah, skinning him. But that's LJ, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
That's her mate, and then he finds her
somehow still alive.
Yeah, that's the worst part. He finds her in the corner. Leatherface finds her, and he's like, "Oh!" And she's like, "Get me out of here" and stuff. And so he like takes the mask, like he's after skinning that fella, and like removed his face. So he gives her his face and makes her wear it and puts like a hat on her.
That
is
horrifying.
That was absolutely horrifying.
That was like that's scarier than anything in anything in the original film. I feel like. But it's played off like it's meant to be. It's so horrifying that you're meant to laugh at it. But I didn't find it funny. I just found it gross.
Yeah, I didn't really find it funny either. But like, then she realizes that LJ is actually still alive. He can stand up and stuff, and he's talking to her, but he has no face. And they've like removed his ribs to like process into meat, and like it's just absolutely weird, and like in a bad way, I think.
And there's a moment where like. He's a bit because she's like, "Oh, can you free me?" And he's like, "Don't worry, darling, I'll save you," whatever. And he picks up a knife, and he starts to like.
Yeah. What's
There's
that?
like a moment where like he's about to stab her and kill her, and I don't know what that's about. What the fuck
I thought
is
he was
going on
just.
there?
I thought he was just struggling to bring the knife down because his ribs were gone.
But like I think there's like the music kind of changes where you're like, oh shit, he's gonna end up like he's gonna try and kill her
Yeah.
for a split second, and then it's like, oh no, he's just frees her. But for a split second, you think he's gonna kill her or he's gonna try to kill her.
Yeah. But why would you do that? Doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. It makes no
Yeah.
sense.
Because he's like her mate, and he like she's his only hope of like living. Yeah, that part is absolutely fucked up. Like that's the main kill in the film. That's pretty much the only kill really, and it is bad. It's like horrific. It is like gorier and like scarier, I suppose, in like a really immediate way than anything in the first one. But I don't think it's actually like more horrifying. The original one has that kill where he sticks the girl up on the meat hook. Like that gave me like a more like sort of visceral immediate reaction than this one. This one's sort of like, oh god, it's like kind of looking away. But in that one, it's like he just picks her up and sticks her on a meat hook, and it's like, oh, I think it was worse. Yeah, because no blood either. You just sort of happens. But this one, it's just blood everywhere. Like it's like an actual slaughterhouse.
There's even that moment where like Lefty comes in and like he smacks the wall or whatever, and guts just come pouring out. It's like there's like there's literally like this house, this like this theme park, this business is literally built on blood and guts.
But yeah, Dennis Hopper is good though.
I love like that bit where he's just like, bring it down. He's just like going fucking ballistic with the chainsaws, just chainsawing fucking everything he sees, and then he comes across Franklin's body.
Yeah, that's definitely a highlight of the film.
I like that. That was great. Callback.
He's like, Franklin, don't you cry now, boy. I got you. I'm here to save you.
I ain't gonna leave you, boy.
Yeah, it's just Franklin's body in a wheelchair, but he's like a skeleton now.
Corpse.
Yeah. It's always the mystery what happened to him, you know.
Yeah. They took him and they ate a bit of him. Yeah, but it is like the violence in the film is like so over the top that like it's not really scary. It's just kind of gross. Which is like completely obviously against what the original film was going for. And yeah, then you get the scene where like Grandpa comes back in, and Grandpa's looking better in this film than he did in the original as well. Speaking of a guy that's aged well.
Exactly. Yeah,
Grandpa's
he's looking very
looking
well.
way better in this one.
Yeah, his wife isn't looking too good though.
No.
Grandma.
No.
She looks fucked.
Oh god, she looks fucked.
That was such an unnecessary inclusion though.
Yeah.
And she's still alive as well. That's the worst part.
Yeah, she's still alive. I don't know. Like
why? You know, and why is she up there?
Oh, Drayton. Sorry, Drayton is the name of the cook. But fuck it. But yeah, so then you get a dinner table scene where like, you know, the Sawyers, they capture Stretch again and they sit her down, and we get another, you know, table dinner scene just like the original one. You remember the original one with the table scene, and you know. We get the bit where, Grandpa, it's good to get killed by Grandpa. Literally the same fucking thing again.
The exact same thing, yeah. With the bucket and all.
And it's the same thing, but this time Drayton's like, no, fuck this. And he picks it up and he fucking nails Stretch in the head. Because he's like, no, I know what happened last time. That's not fucking happening. And he just fucking takes it and he just slams her in the head with it. And then Lefty comes in, and Lefty has this massive chainsaw. And we get a chainsaw fight between him and Leatherface, which is fucking awesome.
Which is good. It's pretty good.
This is the second movie I watched last week where there's a chainsaw fight.
What was the other one?
Mandy as well.
Yeah. Yeah. He like impales Leatherface. And now it's like his chainsaw's obviously out of action. So he reaches in, he has holsters, like one of those like cartoon sheriffs, and just pulls out 2 mini chainsaws. And now he's like dual wheel chainsaws. It's like Call of Duty or something. Yeah, but like the Texas Chainsaw universe. It's insane.
That's like, but like these are the parts of the film that like where they go to like a certain level of stupid that I love, but then there's bits where like they go past that level of stupid and it's just shit.
It's just silly.
And then so then he like nails Drayton in the ass with the chainsaw, and Drayton's like, oh fuck, I'll just blow us up, and he gets a grenade and he straight up kills everyone in the room. Which I think you can turn this and like look at it as like a Gremlins 2 moment where this is Toby Hooper saying Leatherface the Sawyers, they're all dead. No more. This is the end of Texas Chainsaw.
Mm.
But then you get Texas Chainsaw 3.
Yeah.
But so he didn't succeed in that. But yeah, and then you get like Chop Top chasing Stretch through the house, through the theme park, whatever. Then she comes across, Mom. And then
Yeah,
she
up in the hills.
And she kills Chop Top, and then she does the fucking whizzing around thing.
Yeah, man, she gets stabbed 20 times or something by Chop Top. That was so unrealistic.
I don't
could
know
not
if he's
stand for it.
stabbing her or if he's slicing her. I don't like.
If I'm getting sliced 20 times, I'm not gonna be able to like pull a chainsaw into action. Absolutely, not realistic.
That was going on for so long. It's like
yeah.
I know it's not even. I don't know what the fuck you're trying to do. That's like, as a filmmaker, just don't fucking do that. Just have her start the fucking chainsaw to begin with.
Yeah, just make it more immediate.
Because we know that she's not gonna die.
Yeah, he's not gonna get her. Chop Top isn't gonna get her.
What did you think of Chop Top as a whole?
I thought he was a terrible character. There's nothing.
He's just a more stupid version of the Hitchhiker.
Yeah, he's like the Hitchhiker. I thought he was the Hitchhiker, to be fair. Until
I thought he was for a bit, but then I realized. He mentions like, oh, I'm getting Nam. He literally's like, oh, they even mentioned Nam. They're like, oh, I'm getting Nam flashbacks. And it's like, oh yeah, like how the original one was like, kind of a commentary on Vietnam. This one, you're kind of. I don't know if the idea of like, oh, I'm getting Nam flashbacks was a joke in the 80s. Like, that thing? But, like,
yeah,
kind of
I don't think they'd be joking about that by then.
I don't think they would be joking, but it feels like that's what he's doing, where he's like, oh, I'm getting Nam flashbacks. But yeah, like I like the introduction of Chop Top, but I hated when Chop Top was like dancing around the theme park, or just like singing a fucking song, whatever. He got to, again, he's at the right level of silly, and then he went past the right level of silly. It just got stupid and shit.
Yeah. See, I didn't like the Hitchhiker in the original, but like it was cool the way he comes back. Like you see him at the start, and you think, oh, it's just sort of setting the mood for the film, but then he comes back and it sort of like makes more sense. And this one, like, he starts as part of the family, and he's just annoying. Like, he does the whole dance thing. Like, the guy, like you're saying, the actor that they hired for Chop Top, it was just impersonated the Hitchhiker in like a fan film.
Yeah, that's how he got it.
That's how they hired him. That's how they found him. And I think it sort of shows.
Yeah, he was yeah, because he's just a crazier version of the Hitchhiker.
And he has like that little blade, little yoke, little blade that the Hitchhiker had as well. I didn't vibe with him. I don't like.
I didn't vibe with the movie.
Yeah, I did not vibe with this.
There's aspects of it that I like, but there's a lot of aspects that I don't like.
What's the third one?
Oh man, after this, like, it gets we're getting into like really shit territory. Like, Texas Chainsaw 2 on Letterboxd is a 3.2, and then Texas Chainsaw 3 is a 2.4.
2.4.
But we're going back. It's 85 minutes again. It's not long.
That's grand. Well, this one was what, 140?
Yeah, an hour and 40 minutes. Yeah.
Apparently, the second one was banned as well in loads of countries, like the first one.
Why?
I don't know. Apparently, it's banned in Australia for like 30 years. Those Australians are mad, Them and the Brits love banning stuff. It's really banned here, to be fair, as well.
Let's say it was. I'm pretty sure the original one was actually banned here. Remember we were going through that list?
Yeah,
pretty sure it was banned.
Yeah.
But yeah, Texas Chainsaw 2. Didn't like the vibes.
Yeah, I'm not. Just didn't get the vibes. It was too straightforward. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with the third one.
Oh, I can't imagine it's going to be good. I say, like, because I'm pretty sure they tried to go back to horror, but it was like, it's like Texas Chainsaw 2, but trying to be serious, I think, is what happens now.
It had an X rating, which is pretty cool. So
maybe get some, man. If we get some cool kills and it's silly and it's fun,
that's not gonna happen.
I know it's not gonna happen, but I could vibe with that. Like, if it gets kind of silly and stupid and we get some good kills, I'm okay with it. Like Texas Chainsaw 1, like, I'm not expecting any of the films in Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise to be anything like Texas Chainsaw. Like, I'm not expecting that. I just want to have fun.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think this this one had a theme park and all. It wasn't very fun at all. Let's see what this
Oh
one
man,
was.
the tagline for the third one is he puts the teeth in terror. That doesn't even make sense.
What's the teeth in terror? What? I'll figure it out. And then the fourth one has Matthew McConaughey in it, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, apparently that film is dog shit.
Yeah, I've heard bad things about it.
But looking forward to it. We'll get there.
Renee Zellweger's also in it. That's gas.
What?
Wait. Debbie Harry is in it. Oh no, Debbie Harry does the soundtrack.
God, that'd be fucking gas. All these
What
like
the fuck?
huge stars that just show up in the third one or the fourth
In the
one.
worst one. Yeah.
In the worst one. Oh god.
That's what happens when you know, that's a Hollywood incest right there. You know, they got too caught up in their own thing.
That's what happens when you try and like make a film to kill a franchise and it doesn't kill the franchise. This is what happens.
It comes back from the dead, way worse than before.
Like I guarantee you, if they made a Gremlins 3, that would be a complete piece of shit.
Oh, they definitely are gonna make Gremlins 3.
They're
I
gonna
think
make
it's
a
in the
Gremlins
works.
remake.
Yeah, I think Gremlins remake could work. Could definitely work. If they put
They're
us in charge.
iPhones.
Yeah, but yeah. They just film everything on iPhones instead. It's about social media, man. You know?
There's Gremlins in the social media apps.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. They like produce fake news on Facebook and stuff.
Man, you
It's
can
about-
you can
you
see it.
That thing writes itself.
Really
If anyone's
does.
listening with connections right now and they want to give us a few bob, you know, throw us some sort of gig our way, we could easily write that.
Easily.
That writes itself.
It actually does.
Putin is synthesizing gremlins in his Russian labs, controlling U.S. democracy. Something
Oh
like
yeah, like Gremlins. Yeah, because you could do like Gremlins like behind a keyboard, because like the Gremlins are
Yeah.
actually the trolls and shit like
Russian trolls, that they're actually gremlins. That'd be so good.
that. This is so easy. Writing a script is so easy. I tell you what is not easy though, Mark.
What's not easy?
Ang Lee's Hulk told me
Oh,
that editing a movie is hard.
Ang Lee's Hulk.
Have
I've
you
heard
ever
mixed
seen
things.
this thing?
I've heard mixed things about this.
This film.
I've seen this film.
Man, I've seen this one before, but I don't know if you remember this film.
Yeah, I would have seen this back when I was quite young.
Same.
What's it like?
That's when- Oh, it's dog shit, but but there's loads of bits that like I loved, and part of it is like, alright, so Ang Lee, director of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, 2003 rolls around and like, or like probably like 2001, and they're like, right, Mr. Lee, we need you to direct a comic book movie, and it's gonna be the Hulk. And he's like, okay, I got you. Right. And then he's like, right, what's a comic book? And then he opened up a comic book and he saw the panels. And he's like, and then he closed it. And he's like, oh, that's easy. I'll just edit the film like this. Holy fucking shit. The editing in this is unlike anything I've ever seen. Unlike anything anyone's ever seen.
Oh God.
Like, it's actually worth watching the film just to see the editing.
Mm.
I'm gonna stick up on our Instagram a clip, my favorite clip of editing from Hulk 2003. Right, everyone go see this. But it is a helicopter going from point A to point B. Right, there's like, it cuts like, so the screen gets split in half. The helicopter comes up and then it cuts into like another screen. Man, it's fucking batshit insane. It's hard to explain the visuals in this film, but one of the things in a comic book, right, and like the mark of a really good comic book is when you're reading a comic, it's an easy flow from panel to panel. In this film, there's so many panels on the screen that you have no fucking idea where you're meant to look. You can't tell at all because there's things happening on every corner of the screen. It's a complete fucking mess. There's like some moments in the film that are just like stupid, cheesy, fun. Like there's a moment where like Hulk has to fight 3 like hulked up dogs, and he kills one of them because it's biting his shoulder, and he just tenses his muscles really hard, and it breaks it like makes the muscles bigger, and it breaks the dog's jaw.
I think I remember the Hulk dogs. Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's bizarre. The only problem with the actual film itself is that it's real fucking boring when Hulk isn't on screen. And Hulk isn't on screen for the first, like, 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, it's like 3 hours long, isn't it?
It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh, is it? Too long for a Hulk film.
It's way too fucking long.
Mm.
There is so many fucking, like, montages in this film of men and women just doing science, because you have no idea what the fuck they're actually doing. They're just doing science, and it's a montage, and it's like, oh, isn't this cool? Like, we spliced the screen in half, and there's 2 different things happening on each side of the screen, and shit like that. Oh, it's fucking insane. It's not a good movie.
Yeah, apparently Lee described it as a Greek tragedy. He's trying to create a Greek tragedy.
Well, Lee, you completely fucked up. Oh, Eric Bana is the fucking actor in it, not the... What's his name? Bruce Banner?
Bruce Banner.
Yeah, Bruce Banner. Eric Bana. That's really fucking confusing. Why would you pick a guy... Why would you pick an actor that basically has the same name as the main character?
Bruce Banner. Sounds like the Terminator saying his name.
Eric Bana.
Eric Bana.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's like... You can really tell that, like... You know, Batman Begins did a lot for comic book movies.
Yeah, this is what, year before?
This is 2003, so... Oh, yeah, I guess it was. So I think Batman Begins is 2005.
Yeah.
I think. I could be wrong there.
Apparently, Steve Buscemi was also in the running for the role of Hulk. Imagine that. That's the film I want to see.
That would make the film
Steve
like
Buscemi as Hulk.
10 times better.
Just some extremely ugly guys, the Hulk. Like, that almost works better, you know?
It actually, maybe, I can actually understand why they didn't do it, because, like, when he turns into Hulk, he still vaguely looks like Eric Bana. So imagine a Hulk that vaguely looks like Steve Buscemi.
Just the big lips and the eyes. Like, Jesus. Yeah, that would have been bizarre.
Oh, God. And, like, the writing is not good, because, like, I don't know, I don't know what Eric Bana has really been in, but the girl from Requiem for a Dream is in this. I don't know her name either, but she's a good actor.
She's amazing.
Thank you. She's really good. She's fucking terrible in this. But it's not her fault. It's the lines that she's delivering. There's a line in it where she's... You know what? Now that you say that, like, Ang Lee said that he tried to make a Greek tragedy with this, that man is insane, because there's a moment in this film where she turns to Bruce Banner, and she's like, they were a couple, and he's like, look, I'm really sorry what happened. And she's like, don't be sorry. You're just what the fuck did she say? You're just a result of my obsession with emotionally detached men.
Wow.
Like, that's a line in the movie. I was like, wow.
Yeah, you sort of said the themes. I love it.
Like, oh.
Yeah, what does he do? Like, why does he get mad? What's his thing? What's his hang-ups?
Oh, he gets mad because he gets mad twice, right? So he hulks out 3 times. One of the times, it's because, like, it's the first time he has, like, the Hulk in him, so he just, like, naturally just turns into him because he's all fucked up because of, like, the gamma radiation. The second time is because a guy came in and kicked the shit out of him. So it's like, okay, well, fair enough, you're going to get fucking mad at that. The third time is because he gets captured and the same guy comes into him and starts torturing him, like, in an underwater, like, tank. So, yeah, you're obviously going to get fucking mad.
What was that guy thinking? What was he thinking?
And then the fourth time is because his dad turns into a supervillain, so he needs to fight his dad.
Oh, his dad turns into a villain, this?
Yeah, his dad turns into a massive cloud of energy, basically.
What the fuck?
Oh, man, it's not good. It's not good. Yeah, the guy that, like, turns into... The guy that, like, tortures him or whatever, he's a scientist, and he's just the bad guy. Like, that's all that he is. He's like, oh, we could use this to turn, soldiers into, whatever the fuck you are. It's like...
You know, consider its time, 2003. It's like maybe going for that kind of thing, Iraq or whatever. But it doesn't sound
Oh, man,
very
it's
good.
shit. It's shit.
How does it
It's
compare
shit.
to the to Edward Norton ones?
I haven't seen the Edward Norton one in fucking years.
Hmm.
But I remember the Hulk fight at the end with like Abomination or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
That was fun. The best part in this is where he hulks out, but he's just fighting a load of tanks, and it's just like, well, he's just kicking the shit out of the tanks. He's the Hulk, like he's completely fine. Like there's no, like at least in that situation at the end of that film, there's like, oh, like what's gonna happen or whatever. You know, there's a bit of tension as to because Hulk gets the shit kicked out of him there. Hulk never ever gets the shit kicked out of him in this film, not once.
Yeah, yeah. I remember in the Edward Norton one, the last fight is really good because he's like sort of matched, and like the entire time they're building up this like guy who can't be matched, and then they bring up Abomination. It's like, oh shit, he's got an equal. He's got like a decent fighting opponent. It's just a cloud in this one, is it? The villain, basically.
Like his dad's power is that when he touches something, he morphs into it. I think, and he becomes one with it. It's not really well explained because
So he beats up his dad.
no, the army nuke him and his dad.
That's bad.
But right,
Bad
so
vibes.
his dad wants to be near the Hulk, because his thing is that like he like absorbs the energy with whatever he touches off, therefore he like morphs into it, right? So he wants to be beside the Hulk so he can like absorb the Hulkness or whatever, right?
Mm.
So that's his superpower. His superpower is that he absorbs the energy or like the molecules or whatever when he's near something. How the fuck does a nuke kill him? Surely the fuck he just absorbs the nuke.
He becomes a mobile Luke. That's a great supervillain.
And it kills him, but it doesn't kill the Hulk or Bruce Banner because that's the end. That's like the fake out ending. But then you realize like he's obviously not dead. And then the ending is him like in like the middle of like fucking Amazon treating people. And then these guys in cars come up and like, oh, you're going against the government. You know, the government doesn't want to help people or whatever.
I don't know. Ang Lee, what are you at? You know?
I've only seen. Well, this is the same guy that did Gemini Man with Will Smith
Have you
2
seen
years
that?
ago. No, because apparently it's absolutely fucking dog shit.
It did not look good. What
But
else has he done?
Life of Pi is pretty good.
Life of Pi, yeah, he did that, didn't he?
That's pretty good.
Uh-huh.
And then Crouching
Brokeback
Tiger.
Mountain.
Oh yeah, he did that as well. And Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is apparently really good. I haven't seen it though. This came out at the same like time as well as like Fantastic Four and all that. And Fantastic Four
Yeah.
films are fucking shit as well. Like they're not good films either.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it was. Marvel really cracked that formula, you know. Even they didn't try to make a Hulk film, you know, like a proper Hulk franchise.
Which is
They just had
insane.
him
'cause I
appear
think
as
you could
he
do
could
well,
do something, yeah.
I think the problem with Hulk is that like it's always the Hulk against army sergeants, like whoever the fuck that army sergeant. It's always that story. It's always that story. There's not much you can do. Like within the films, there's always been that. I'm sure, like in the comics, like there's loads of different stories, or whatever, of Hulk that are probably really good that you could do. But you know,
Yeah, there's one where he's like a Planet Hulk.
this is why I don't think Marvel even know what the fuck Hulk is because in Planet Hulk, I know what that is. Planet Hulk isn't that he's a planet. He returns to a planet of Hulks. So is Hulk an alien thing?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
the fuck does that like?
Yeah, I thought he was radiated.
I thought so too, but apparently not. In the comics, he's just whatever you want him to be.
Comics. When will they learn?
Yeah, I guess I'll talk about the two short movies that I watched as well. I watched Nimic, which is by the guy that did The Lobster and all.
Logan the Thamos or something, is it?
Yeah, I didn't even. I was like the guy that did The Lobster because there's no way I'm gonna attempt to pronounce his name.
Them Greeks, them crazy Greeks.
And this was cool. I feel like I don't really understand why it's a short film. I feel like this idea could have been done really well as a longer film, but I feel like if it was like a longer film, it would it would kind of like rip off ideas from other films.
What's it about? Summarize the
Alright.
whole thing.
It starts off, it's only like 8 minutes long, so just tell the whole fucking thing.
Mm.
Starts off with this guy, he wakes up, he's with his family, he plays violin, whatever, and he sits down on the subway going home, and he looks at a woman in front of him, and he says, do you know what time it is? And she looks at him really weirdly, and she goes, do you know what time it is? And he's walking, and then behind him is the woman, and she's following him, and then it's cutting away, where like, oh, like when he crosses something, it'll cut to the woman then walking at that thing. Then he like looks behind him when he's walking into his house, and she's there. And then he opens the door and he closes the door, and then she reaches into her pocket and she pulls out the key to the door and she walks in, and then he's standing there and he's like, you know that he's talking to his wife, he's like, you know that I'm your husband, this is an imposter. And then she says the same thing as him, and then they're both saying the same thing at the same time. And then it's like a test kind of thing where he gets into bed beside his wife and like curls up beside her, and then he gets out of bed and then she curls up beside her in bed, and then you realize that the wife and the family picked her. And then there's the scene where she's playing the violin, but she's playing it poorly, but people still cheer or whatever. And then it cuts to him on a train, and a guy says to him like, "Oh, do you have the time?" And then he looks at him real weird and he says, "Oh, do you have the time?" And then it just like basically ends there.
What?
So I looked at like the movie synopsis, and it's like about like how your role in society, or like any role, can be replaced by someone else. Like you're not irreplaceable. Like you could always be replaced by someone else. Which is like, I feel like it works better in like a working environment, but it also kind of works like, you know, I guess like it's a kind of horror. It's horrifying because it's talking about like the family, and we think as the family as something sacred, something that can't be replaced. And this is like the idea, like, oh no, if you can just be chopped out for someone else, like that's not worry. But it's kind of the idea of like in a workplace environment, no one is irreplaceable, so you can always replace someone with someone else.
Yeah.
Even the fact that like his job is playing like music, whatever, and then she comes in and she's playing the music and she's playing it awfully, but people still cheer because the band as a whole is really cool. It's like, oh well, like, you know, it looks cool and it sounds good altogether, so we can ignore the individual failure, kind of, I guess. But it's all right. Like, it's just all right overall. It's a cool idea. I feel like it would work better if it was longer and it fleshed out the idea a bit more.
Yeah, it sounds like a weird film.
It is weird.
But yeah, you could probably make that into a film. That sounds like something he'd just do as a film, you know.
I feel like he probably
like,
might just do it as a film.
It's your man. What's his name? Matt Dillon, is it?
Yeah, Matt Dillon. Yeah,
Matt Dillon. He's great.
He is great. He's great. He's very, very good.
He's a king.
He doesn't have much to do with this. It's only 8 minutes, but like he's good in it.
Why not? Why not do it?
And it is kind of scary because it's like the family, and you know, someone coming in and taking your family away from you.
Yeah, bad vibes.
Bad vibes all around. And then after that, I watched Maya Dern.
Maya Deren, yeah.
Maya Deren's Meshes of the Afternoon.
A classic.
Classic. One of the most, like, arguably one of the most important films ever made.
It's definitely short films, yeah.
Yeah, definitely short films. You know, the original avant-garde experimental film from Hollywood. Is she American?
She's American, yeah.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm gonna have anything to add to this. It's good. It's good. Like, it's great.
It's just people dancing and stuff. The use of the body, you know, the physicality. Because she was all about amateurism, as Steve once told us, the great man himself. Steve. He was a great lecturer.
Did we watch this in a lecture before?
Yeah, we watched a bit of it, I think. Because it's 15 minutes of people dancing, so I don't think, you know, kids aren't going to want to watch that full thing. So I think we only watched a snippet of it. But, yeah, she's, like, all about amateurism, like, complete, like, sort of dedication to the craft and using, like, your immediate environment and not, like, investing huge amounts like Hollywood. I think she was from California, which sort of speaks to the context of what she was trying to do. But also, like, it almost seems like she's just trying to make, like, I don't know, like a socialist version of film, but didn't want to call it socialism. Like,
yeah,
socialist realist almost, but like more, it's more, obviously way more experimental. but like it's all used like, or everything is produced using like DIY stuff, and there's no like mad special effects, and it's just people she sort of knew and stuff, and even the film itself meshes the afternoons just like people moving, and like it's about movement and using your body and like spatial awareness and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's really, really clever. Like how she like edits it and stuff like that is really, really clever. And there's like this kind of theme of like repetition, kind of, because you know it's about, you can't even really explain it that much, but like basically it's a woman walking around and she sees herself walking around. Basically she's in another version of herself walking around, and it's kind of like this like kind of loop thing that's going on. You know, I like to like view something and like imagine it like as a commentary or whatever from like where and when it came from. So I like to like read the film as like, you know, this like constant loop, this like repetition that's going on, which is, you know, American cinema as a whole. And this film is the attempt to like break that cycle, to break that repetition, because because the character herself like does break the cycle by like killing herself, but that could also be within the loop, you know, you don't know. But because this film is like a short, avant-garde, super influential film, I feel like you know, you can kind of read the film like that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, what was the reading of the guy with the mirror for a face?
I have no idea, man. I have no idea.
Yeah, I didn't really get it.
Man, there's like,
I'm not ashamed to admit I didn't really understand it.
No, I like, and again, like, you know, it's about the vibes, it's about the feels. We mentioned this earlier.
You know, yeah, it's something about what we sort of outlined there. You know, it's like a Cherkassky film, you know, except obviously way more influential. But
God, Cherkassky's so good. I'm gonna watch a few more of his shorts.
A few of his yokes, whatever those things are. How would you describe them?
Whatever the fuck is going on in those. I won't even call them movies. Like,
yeah, those are like, I don't know, aberrations. But yeah, Maya Deren. Definitely do a little, you know, more investigation into those kinds of things.
Does she have any feature lengths?
I don't know.
Yeah,
no idea, because she was an amateur, so I don't know. That seems like a lot of effort for an amateur.
That's what I'm thinking, because I don't know if she did do any feature lengths.
Feature length film, you know, it's dead. It's finished. Shorts are the way to go.
They kind of are. You can really bump up your fucking letterbox like entries by just watching a lot of short films.
It's all about that letterbox, all them numbers.
It's all about the numbers.
Ooh,
Nichols. We'll move on to the questions, the listener questions, whatever. If you have any questions, queries, or you know, want to answer our questions to you, the listener, with our new and improved sections, you can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at @paro_pod, or you can send us an email at theparopod@gmail.com. Hit us up. Give us whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever.
So the first question is coming in from Connor. Connor's asking us, if we were to have a podcast guest, dead or alive, who would we have?
Who would we have?
Yeah, who are you thinking? If you could have anyone from history. Well, I guess we kind of need a filmmaker, because it's a film podcast or something.
Yeah, Adolf Hitler, you know. Get him on. What was that all about, man?
What was going on there, bro?
What was
bro? You got some fucking issues.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It's like I just have him on just so I can fucking drop him.
Yeah, yeah. Any filmmaker we could have on? I don't know. David Lynch would be funny, but I wouldn't know what to ask him really.
Just have a chat. Just talk about films.
Yeah, have a chat. I think he seems pretty chill. So
I think David Lynch would be cool. You know who I 100% wouldn't have on?
Who?
Tarantino. That dude's fucking weirdo.
He just hogged the mic, you know.
I'd be so uncomfortable with him.
He'd be saying the N-word and all, and like talking in a black accent and stuff.
We ain't about that. Get the fuck out of here,
yeah.
Tarantino.
we do not want you on our podcast.
Like,
he like offers
Tarantino, if you hear this, we don't fucking want you.
No, maybe Orson Welles. That would be hilarious, because we could talk about Dublin as well, because he lived and worked in Dublin.
Oh yeah, I always forget about that.
Yeah, at the Gate or something. I think it was the Gate Theatre that he started. He started his career off at. And obviously talk about, you know, the most influential films of all time. But
Yeah, you know, like Orson, how did you do it? How did you make the most influential film when you're in your 20s?
yeah, or just what's your favorite pub? You know.
What's your favorite movie? I'd love to have the Safdie brothers. I think that'd be fun.
That actually would, yeah.
They seem like two fucking cool, chill dudes. I'd love to have Sophia Coppola on and just like be like, girl, Godfather 3, what happened?
What were you thinking?
What's going on?
Yeah, Cronenberg, because he's big into obviously makes great films and stuff. He loves books and stuff like that. He loves literature. English major back in his day, and he only went into film. I don't know. I actually can't remember why he went into film, but basically he wanted to emulate William Burroughs before he became a director.
That's cool.
So
that's fucking cool.
I'd love to ask him a question about that.
Spike Jonze, Spike Jonze. Is that the one I'm thinking of?
Off her?
No, Spike Lee. Then Spike
Spike
Lee.
Lee.
Spike Lee.
One of
would be
them.
Cool.
Yeah.
One of the Spikes. Spike Lee, preferably.
Yeah.
Because I've heard him before, and he just seems like a real fucking cool dude. Just real chilled, but like also makes really good films.
What Irish figure would we have?
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy. Yeah,
No,
definitely.
scratch that. Yeah, no, fuck that. You know what? I'd fucking love to have Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell, actually, yeah, he would be class. Yeah, he'd be great.
Sitting around having a few pints and just talking about films. I say you'd fucking love it.
Yeah. That would escalate. That would definitely escalate. And Colin Meaney, he'd be gas to have on. I'm sure he has a lot of insights.
Brendan
Gleeson from the area,
Gleeson.
Fairview, big man.
Yep. Could drink whiskey with him. I'm sure you'd fucking love it.
Yeah. Bono, get Bono on.
I'd actually love to have Bono on this, and just be like, just tell me you're such a wanker.
Shut the fuck up, Paul. You dope.
He's just like Bono's just like, tell you, Godfather, best film I've ever seen. I'm like, oh, fuck off.
Fuck off, Paul. Yeah, that'd be great.
It's like, do you know what a film? He's just sitting there. It's like, do you know what film I didn't understand? Fight Club. I just didn't know what was going on.
Inception or something. Yeah.
Oh god, I wouldn't want to have Christopher Nolan on.
Christopher Nolan. I don't know anything about him, so.
I don't know. I just feel like he'd be a bit of a wanker.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm trying to think like any like female. I don't know. The problem is like female directors that I don't know many off by heart, like off the top of my head, or like, you know, the woman that made American Psycho, and I'm like, how do you feel like just talk like how do you feel about people about your film, which is a critique of like a lot of different things, but the fact that American Psycho is like a film because a lot of people like misinterpret the film.
Yeah.
And like talk to her about that. I'm sure it'd be very.
Yeah, what's her name?
No idea. I have no idea what other films she made either. I have no idea. All I know is that she directed American Psycho. I know nothing else about her.
Diablo Cody.
Oh, shout.
Or Harmony Korine, actually. Harmony Korine is actually my definitive answer.
Also, Harmony Korine.
I'd definitely have him on. He's great. His interviews are great, so.
He'd just be lying to us the entire time.
Yeah. We could definitely vibe.
I feel like having Aaron Sorkin would be a pain in the hole as well.
Yeah, but like, shut the fuck up, man.
Yeah.
West Wing bollocks.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you're talking over me? Oh, it's a reference to your films. Shut the fuck up,
Yeah.
Aaron, you dope.
Fool you. Oh, Kaufman, actually.
Andy Kaufman, yeah. I'd say he'd be mad quiet, though.
No, Charlie Kaufman.
Oh, but Andy Kaufman, though. Imagine
Andy Kaufman. Again, Andy
that
Kaufman
would be
would be
the
one
greatest.
I feel like he'd kick the shit out of us.
Yeah. What a scoop that'd be, though. If we just had Andy Kaufman on one of the days.
It's like,
This
back
guy's
from
dead.
the dead. For a fucking Scorsese, you know, I actually would like to talk to Scorsese. And
Oh,
just
absolutely.
Hear him talk about like the art of filmmaking and stuff like that. That'd be cool.
Absolutely. That's such a shout. Scorsese, for sure. He's a genius.
Got like real cool vibes and opinions on films. Oh, actually, one last one. John Carpenter.
Yeah, John. I feel like he's sort of collapsed.
70s to 80s John Carpenter.
Yeah, I'd want some stories from the 70s and 80s, you know. I don't want to hear about fucking Ghosts from Mars or like Halloween 7 or something, you know?
Yeah, some fucking bullshit like that. Now on to the our question to the audience, where we ask you a question and we respond to your answers and have a bit of a discussion on the general topic itself. The question was, what are some films that you think are underappreciated, underrated films, or like hidden gems? So, first one coming in is from Tom, and Tom says, don't think The Iron Giant gets enough credit for being a fucking amazing film. Tom, gotta agree with you there.
That is a banger of a film. That is
Banger.
literally one of my favorite ever films. That is the
It's so
best,
good.
one of the best anime films ever made. One of the best kids films ever made.
Easily.
Is that Disney?
Don't think so.
Have a look.
I don't know. That's a fucking shout though. Fucking Iron Giant is a classic.
Yeah, I think
It's like
everyone loves it though, to be fair.
I think everyone that knows it loves it. But it doesn't get like. I don't hear many people talking about it though.
Yeah, because it bombed huge. Bombed
Yeah.
massively when it came out. It was Brad Bird directed that. Incredibles. Hero.
No way. Wait,
Based...
was that Disney then, or who was it?
No, it's actually Warner Brothers.
Shit.
Based on the poem by Ted Hughes, or the story by Ted Hughes, which is about the suicide of Sylvia Plath. So that's the whole thing with that's why he commits suicide at the end. It
Wait,
was,
is there not a sequel?
yeah, there's a sequel to it that Ted Hughes wrote as well.
But that's okay. Because I always remember that there's a story about the Iron Giant fighting a giant dragon from outer space.
Yeah, I think that's the sequel he did.
That's
I don't know
the
why
sequel,
he wrote a
okay.
sequel, but he did. But yeah, originally written by Ted Hughes to explain to his kids why their mom committed suicide. And it's like, it makes it like so much more, I don't know, impactful.
Sad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the ending is so cool. It's like, he's like, want to be Superman. He's like,
Be good.
yeah. He's like flying into a nuke. It's like, incredible stuff.
Wait, be good. That's fucking E.T. What am I talking about?
What?
Wait, he says something at the end. He's like
No, he says something. Super. I am Superman.
something like
'cause-
that. You
'cause he
say
says,
be good. That's fucking E.T.
Because he just quotes E.T. before he dies. Like, there's no meaning
like,
in the end
not
of the
mentioned at all.
film. No, because the whole thing is like, you can choose what you want to be, stuff like that.
Be
And
a
he's
hero.
like,
You're
I
not-
would I choose to be a hero. That's what the Iron Giant says, and he fucking nukes himself.
But the
to show
weapon
it.
I was designed to be.
Exactly. It's such a great film.
It is a great film. It's so good.
Neil says, Logan Lucky, Kill List, His House, Killing Them Softly.
I have seen 2 of these films.
I
My
actually
fam-
haven't seen any of these films.
My family are watching actually Logan Lucky downstairs as we speak right now. From the scene that I just saw down there, Neil, looks fucking whopper. But have you not seen Kill List?
No. Is
Ah.
that Ben Wheatley?
Yeah, man, you need
Yeah.
to get on that.
I
Get
have
on
not
that.
seen it.
As a fucking
He's a king, though. He is. a
that
king.
film is like really like it's a good film, but then there's a moment where it just escalates and it keeps escalating.
Mm.
And it's great. It's really fucking good.
Yeah. Who's in it?
That guy from Belfast, Michael Smiley. Do you know that dude?
Oh, yeah, he's in Field in England.
Yes, that dude. Yes,
Yeah.
him. He's in
That's a good film.
it.
Hard to get through, though.
Hard to get through. And this film as well can be kind of hard to get through. But man, fucking unreal film. It is so fucking good. And then Killing Them Softly as well. Very underrated film. I feel like that film was hated when it first came out, but you know we got James Gandolfini in it as well. What-
Oh.
I think it's one of his last films before he died.
Oh, shit.
It's got Brad Pitt in it. Really good. Really good film.
Mm.
And I recommend that as well. His House is only just added to Netflix. I haven't seen that. And then Logan Lucky I haven't seen. So
Yeah, these are too obscure for me. I'll definitely have to have a look.
I think we might have to go through these and like watch a few of these films now because the fans recommended them. So
The lads, yeah, for
um,
sure.
and then Faye says Stardust is very underrated. Another one that I very much agree with. Have you ever seen Stardust?
with the Robert De Niro and stuff.
With the Take That song in it, it's fucking banging, man.
Rule the World. That was my jam back in the day.
Oh, the music in that film is so good.
Yeah, to be honest, I did not like that film. I had to be
What
honest.
are you talking about, man? It's got Robert De Niro in it.
I didn't vibe with it. I just
That's
didn't.
a space pirate.
Yeah, I just didn't get it. And Ricky Gervais is in it and stuff. It's like,
Is he? Oh, he
Yeah.
is. He's in like a bit of it, yeah.
he's like I don't know. He messes around with Robert De Niro's character a bit. Because I just didn't really like the book and stuff. And the guy who wrote it, Neil Gaiman, a lot of his stuff I just didn't really like. But yeah,
Fair.
I don't know. It just wasn't my thing. But the music, Take That, Rule the
Music's
World.
Oof.
You feel like you can rule the world after listening to that.
You really do. And there's lots of bits in the film, because like, I remember like, when I was a kid especially, like when the witches kill someone, like one of the witches kills someone in a bath or something, and I remember that being really fucking scary when I was younger.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Oh, I remember it being fucking horrifying. I was like, it's like the first like touch of horror. I was like, that's just, it doesn't make me feel good.
Mm.
Do you want to take the next one there?
Yeah, Jack saying Bundeloafe 2 Return of Jafar, one of my favourite indie films. Honestly, Jack, I've no idea what that is.
I
have absolutely no idea what that is.
When I saw that, I was like, he's after misspelling Aladdin.
Yeah, I thought there was like a sequel to Aladdin or something. I just looked it up. I was like,
Because there is a
never heard
sequel
of
to
that.
Aladdin called Return of Jafar.
Is there? What is this then? A comedy musical adventure.
I have never heard of this film.
A man is
ever.
taken to outer space and told he must use his filmmaking skills to save the universe. What?
Sounds good. Like
Yeah.
that's
Stick that on the list.
sick. That yeah, we'd have to talk about it. Again, kind of comment on this film because I've never fucking seen it before. But yeah,
It's definitely a hidden gem.
we're giving these are recommendations to you as well, dear listener. That you should check out some of these films as well. Take note. Check the description actually, and we'll put them in. We'll put all the films mentioned in the description, and then you have a little list of underrated / hidden gems or whatever. Next one's coming in from Kev Keeley, a film that we've actually talked about on the podcast, and it's Falling Down, with Michael
Good film.
Douglas. And half of this podcast likes it, half of us haven't seen it.
It's on Netflix, so it's very accessible. Good film. It's a good film. It's actually, I didn't expect it to be as good as it was, and everyone sort of recognizes it's an iconic character. Everyone sort of knows the film, like implicitly. It's Grimy from The Simpsons. It's Frank Grimes, but like over a film. The next one is Ben. Ben says you've probably seen, but Road to Perdition, and he also recommends A Perfect World by Clint Eastwood.
Haven't seen either of those films.
I haven't seen either of them,
Yeah.
but I will definitely have a look. Road to Perdition. Somehow I definitely know that name, but
I know
I've
that name.
never seen it.
Yeah, as soon as he said that, I was like, I feel like that's a film I should have seen, but I haven't seen, but I know
Yeah.
the name of.
I feel like I've failed our listeners not knowing this film.
Yeah, I think that this is just like, listen, right, listener, our film taste and like our knowledge of film is pretty obscure, but it's not that obscure.
Road to Perdition. Sam Mendes. Tom Hanks is in it. I should have seen this film before.
Yeah, when I looked it up, I was like, I've seen this film, but I've never like watched it. Like I know, I see and I've heard of this film. Next one's coming in from Cahill, and he's saying Detachment. My family actually also have watched this film, and they said it's really good. It stars Adrian Brody, and he's a teacher, and he's like a substitute. He's a continuous substitute teacher, so he can never stay long enough to like have a real impact on kids' lives. As like him always trying to like catch that kind of, that's kind of the general plot of it. But my family said it was a really good film. So
Adrian Brody, you can't go wrong with him.
he's
He
not
just
in much,
knows.
but he's in good. He's in a lot of good films.
Picks and chooses, and he knows what he's doing. Yeah, I've never heard of Detachment, but I have to stick it on the old list, the old listeen.
And do you want to take the next one then?
Yeah, next one comes in from AE.
You know who you are. We don't know who you are, but you know who you are.
They're saying probably seen it, but Good Time by the Safdie Bros. Good Time is also everyone should watch that. Very good film. It's on
If
Netflix.
you haven't seen Good Time, you have to watch Good Time. I think it is a film that's like I guess it is like a hidden kind of gem. A lot of
It
people have seen it,
is.
but not enough people have seen it.
It is a hidden gem, yeah. Well, yeah. That's the thing. But like, it's not like one of those things where it's like, mad abstract and you like have to think about it. It's not like Trash Humpers. Oh, that's a hidden gem, man. It's like a film that anyone could really watch, and like I think everyone would really enjoy it.
Yeah, there's something to appreciate for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
I have to agree. Do you prefer I was gonna say hidden gem, uncut gems, or do you prefer Good Time?
Good Time.
Same. I think they're very, very close, but I think Good Time is just
I
a
really
better
like-
time.
Yeah. It's a good time. Yeah, I really liked Uncut Gems, but I think it's sort of similar. It's almost like it copies parts of Good Time.
It like does that like raising of the stakes kind of the same, like
Yeah.
that constant like rising tension that's constant throughout the film.
Yeah, definitely.
But Uncut Gems kind of does it better. But I think Uncut Gems has a better ending.
Yeah. With
The ending of Good Time is a little bit flat. I
can't
think.
remember the ending.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like you remember everything, but you don't remember the ending.
I like the fact that Kevin Garnett and all like the Good Time is like set in like the real world.
Mm.
Man,
Yeah, same.
I thought that was really cool.
But I agree. I think Uncut Gems. Good Time is Uncut. Oh Jesus Christ! I'm saying Uncut Gems. Good Time is a hidden gem.
Good Time is an uncut gem.
But yeah, especially with like how huge Uncut Gems was when it came out, because everyone was talking. That film was fucking everywhere.
Netflix, man, the best marketing department in the world.
I think as well. Good Time is a A24 film. I think I'm not sure, but
It is.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Uncut Gems is as well. It's like a co-production.
Yeah, must be.
They make pretty much every film like that.
Any like if there's
Any
A24,
good film.
you're just like it's probably gonna be good.
Yeah.
And then the last one's coming in from Connor. And Connor's saying, never really, sometimes always. Watching it at the moment, really rough going, but important viewing. I have heard of this film, but I haven't seen it yet. It's a new enough film. Have you heard or seen this film?
I think Connor was recommended to me before. It's about abortion, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
I've never seen it though.
Yeah, it's about a girl getting an abortion, but from what I've heard about the film is that it's not like, it doesn't have a message of like, pro-life or pro-choice. It's just the story, and it doesn't like, toy with your emotions and try and make you feel a certain way. It's like, this is what it is, and you make up your own opinion about like whatever's going on. It's a film that doesn't have like an agenda or like something like that.
Yeah. The liberal agenda,
which is important. I think that's probably the best way. That's the best way you can do something like that, because it's a very touchy subject, and I think the best way,
especially right now,
Jesus. But I think it's important to it's something like that. It's important just to tell the story. Yeah, and then what's our like? Oh, sorry, I got one more. I had to write it down because my sister forgot to.
We got one more coming in.
Got one more. My sister Jenna, she's like, oh, I meant to text this in, but I didn't get to. She said, Thunder Road. Have you ever seen Thunder Road?
Thunder Road, no.
On Netflix.
Wait, no.
Watch it. Not Fury Road. Thunder Road.
I was thinking Thunder. Wait, what?
Thunderdome. Thunderdome. Another Mad Max film.
Yeah.
Fury Road. Thunderdome.
Thunder Road. I've never heard of it.
Thunder Road
Cafe. Great bar.
Fantastic. Thunder Road is so good. I don't even want to explain it. Just go in, know that it's a weird, awkward, fun time, and it's good. It's very, very good. And Jenna's other hidden gem is Mommy, film that I watched, and I'm gonna touch on briefly here. I've seen this film 3 times, and every time I've seen it, it has brought tears to my eyes. It is a wonderful film, and it's in 1-for-1 aspect ratio. But unlike other films, the 1-for-1 aspect ratio is key to the film. Like, it is central to the film, because at certain moments, like the 1-for-1 aspect ratio is, you know, literally a part of the plot, kind of. And it has the greatest use of Wonderwall ever. It's the soundtrack is insanely good. It's up there with Trek 2, honestly.
Yeah, fair play. Yeah, I've never seen Wonderwall. I've never seen Mommy.
It's on
but
Amazon, man. You need to watch it.
Is it? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll have to have a look.
Definitely watch it.
But yeah, Xavier Dolan, that guy puts us to shame. Every time I think about that guy, I'm like, I'm such a failure in life, you know. That guy was 22 at Cannes, or at Cannes.
He wrote this, he directed it, he did the editing for it, he produced it as well, I'm pretty sure. At the age of 26 or something.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, you made like one of the greatest films ever made at the age of 26. What the fuck?
Greatest films ever made. That's a bold claim.
I would definitely claim that.
You go to the mat on that. I'll have to have a look then.
There's one flaw that I have with the film, and it's that a text pops up at the start of the film, and that's the only flaw I have with the film.
A text?
It just comes up and says, in a fictional Canada, the government passed this law, and it's like, that didn't really need to be there.
Those Quebecois mad bastards. I love when I look it up on Prime and just put in Mommy, and like it's all like Polly Pocket and like fucking Paw Patrol and stuff. It's like some kid put this in and they just stick on the first result.
Yeah.
It just be Xavier Dolan's like debut feature at Cannes.
It's like, Mom, I feel sad. Paw Patrol. It's like, Mom, I don't understand what language they're speaking.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone should watch Mommy and Thunder Road. Both the films I love, and I agree with my sister on that.
That's true.
What hidden gems or underrated or underappreciated films are you thinking?
Hidden gem? I'm thinking High Rise. I go with High Rise for my choice. I don't know if it's like...
I haven't seen.
Yeah, it's like Ben Wheatley, again, from Kill List, Field in England, all that stuff. It's about like based on the story by Ballard, J.G. Ballard, King. Great for short stories. It's about like it's like a really like sort of on the nose kind of allegory about class and stuff. It's set in like a high rise building, and eventually like sort of decays over time. Has Tom Hiddleston and loads of other people like that in it. It's really good, really stylish film. I watched it like way back at the start of the year. It's on Prime as well. So it's definitely worth a watch. Anything with Ben Wheatley is worth a watch, especially Ballard as well, and like those sort of crazy ideas. Like it's a really like it's so sort of overdone, that idea of like sort of like an allegory of class that's sort of, you know, oh, it's a big building, it's like the rich are at the top, the poor at the bottom, but like this just does it in like a really cool way, I think. So I've never really heard it talked about, so that's why I'd recommend it.
Yeah, that's a good show. I mean, I think we kind of talk, like, we're on a podcast, we seem to talk about films that we think are underrated. Like, I would say, like, Perfect Blue. We've already talked about that film. And I'd also would say, from your recommendation from one of the weeks, Peeping Tom, I'd also say that as well. Let me have a look here. I actually don't know. This little underrated film. It's called Shawshank Redemption.
The Dark Knight. Yeah, I watched this film Joker last year. It's about this guy. He's a clown and he gets beat up.
Real emotional.
It's fucked up, bro.
Red Line. Right?
Don't know what it is. Never heard
Red Line is the most exciting, gets your heart pumping anime film I've ever fucking seen. Right, we're going back to anime, bro.
We're going back to anime.
Bro, I got this when we were in Vancouver because I heard about it, and I was like, oh, I'll just get it. And I sat down and I watched it in Vancouver. I was by myself when I watched it, and I watched it, and I was like, that's the best film I've ever seen. And then I stopped. I was like, okay, it's not the best film I've ever seen. It's really good though. And I repeatedly put it back in just to watch bits of it throughout the week that we had.
The Rent, yeah.
The Rent. And then there's another time where because like, right, so in Vancouver, the place that we went to, it was 3 films for the price of 2.
Black Dog, yeah, something like that.
The Black Dog on Thursdays. And there's one time I was like, okay, I got 2 films I want to watch. What else I want to get? And I saw Red Line. I was like, I'm just gonna get that again. And I just watched a couple of bits of it again. That film, like, I repeatedly return to that film to just watch moments from it because it is batshit insane, but in the best possible way. And you know the way that we talked about before, like the use of animation as a terms of a medium to convey, you know, feelings or whatever. This film does that to a T. To a T. It's amazing. It's great.
Yeah. 2009.
It's like the best racing film ever made.
Oh yeah, I think I remember you talking about this. Yeah.
I definitely did. I definitely told everyone in our house about that. I was like, everyone needs to watch this. I was like, shut the fuck up on it's anime.
Redline is a 2009 science fiction auto racing anime film. Sign me up.
Amazing.
Sign me up.
But yeah, that's it.
That's all she wrote.
We're gonna be talking about Threads next week. That's our film for next week. I watched Threads on Friday.
Spooky vibes.
Have you seen it?
No. But I've seen clips of it. Like there's like iconic kind of clips that happen that you see online and stuff.
Like content warning for existential dread with this movie.
Yeah, content warning for nuclear annihilation.
Oh my god, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our film for next week. That's what we'll be talking about. Any last words, Marco?
Be good.
That was Mongo. It wasn't fucking E.T. It was Mongo.
Mongo. What? How did?
I was thinking.
I
of
said
Mongo.
yeah when you said that. I was like, yeah, it sounds sort of right.
E.T. says it, but it's Mongo. That's why I know it. Mongo says that. I only come to now.
Be good. Well, yeah. Well, it applies right now. So be good.
Be good, everyone. All right, bye, everyone.
Bye.